Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the joint webinar hosted by productivity gurus and lovers from MeetGeek, ClickUp, and Paperless Movement. We are soon to kick off. So far, please give us a warm welcoming in the chat. Let us know where you are looking us from. How are your feelings? What are your expectations from the event? We will be glad to see your answers. And let us know if the sound is good. Montreal, Colombia. Sounds like so far warm countries. So good mood. Thank you, Devin. Okay, so while we are waiting for everyone who wants to join us to join, I want to probably start with a quick housekeeping because those are the most popular questions. The webinar will be recorded, and it is recorded. We will share the links and the recording soon after the event. But we forcing you to stay with us live because all the best perks goes to those who stay with us live, like Q&A section and lots of insights. Use the question tab in the panel below to ask questions to our speakers. We will answer all of them by the end of the event, and use the chat box to interact with us and between each other. But please do not use as the spam box. While I'll see people joining us from all over the world, probably I will take this time to present the speakers. Today we have Devin Stoker, the Director of Center of Excellence from ClickUp, #1 project management tool, used and loved by millions of people. Tom Solid, the co-founder of the Paperless Movement, community for individuals and businesses looking for productivity insights, productivity ecosystems and tools. And Dan Huru, the CEO and co-founder of MeetGeek, AI meeting automation platform, used and loved by many users worldwide as well. Those are our speakers today. I will be the moderator of the show, and I will present the agenda. So the agenda for today is to discuss with you how to build team workspaces for project management, how to use automation and AI for that, how to integrate productivity tools between each other to make most of it on the example of ClickUp plus MeetGeek integration, and strategies for less meetings but better alignment. And my favorite part, Q&A, which we'll leave till the end. So keep with us. Before moving forward, I want to, Mariana, if you can put our poll on the screen. Please share what type of working model you're working on. Are you working from home, in the office, or hybrid mixing office and remote work? It will be nice to see the results. So far, we have fully flexible, hybrid mostly. Okay, we'll be waiting for more replies. So all of us like to be unique, but in this case, we're not something about uniqueness, because most of the companies nowadays, no matter the size, small or big, choose fully flexible or structured hybrid models. So not everyone wants to go to back in office. And that's for the reasons there are lots of opportunities and good outcomes of this, but there are some pitfalls for choosing the flexible model. Some of those are the challenges like communicating between each other, lack of team cohesion, trust and connectivity issues, and some others. But the best part is that most of those challenges can be easily fixed. And on this note, I want to pass the word and the floor to Devin, the person who knows everything about project management. So Devin, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Daria. All right. Hey, this is Devin Stoker. I'm the Director of Center of Excellence at ClickUp, and I'm excited to talk to you today about why ClickUp is the best tool for project management. Today, I'm going to highlight some of the key points on how ClickUp can help you deliver better on your company projects. So just the three areas we'll cover today. We're going to go over flexibility and how ClickUp can be easily adapted to meet any team's needs and help you achieve your project goals. Second, we're going to talk through how you can take the busy work out of project management and streamline repeatable processes so that your team members can focus less on the administrative side of work and focus more on actual project execution. And then we'll wrap up this portion actually doing a tour of ClickUp Brain, which is our AI offering. Now it can help you be able to do more and have greater positive impacts. All right, let's jump into flexibility. So just for context, I came from a project management background where I was responsible for large software implementations at a healthcare payer. I worked with teams across the business that had very disparate needs. Getting them to work in the same tool was an ongoing challenge I faced every day. I still remember trying to implement Jira for our marketing team because that was a tool we had. You can imagine how poorly that went. When I first saw ClickUp, I was immediately impressed by its flexibility, and I could quickly see how it could flexibly meet each of these teams' different needs across the business to track and execute on their projects. Next, going in and talking about the flexible structure that ClickUp supports. So ClickUp has a hierarchy that provides you a flexible structure where every team and every department can live within the same ClickUp workspace and either work separately or work together as needed. Each department has one or more spaces where they can support their team's critical workflows. What makes the ClickUp hierarchy so powerful is that projects that live in multiple locations or projects that work across multiple teams can actually live in multiple locations in ClickUp. This allows you to be able to share work across lists. You can stay on the previous slide. This allows users to be able to share work across space, folders, and lists, and helps you break down communication silos. And then each team member, each team and department can set up their work their own way. And then the other unique thing about the ClickUp hierarchy is that the work automatically aggregates up. So you as a leader can easily see across a list, a folder, a space, a workspace, and see all the data inside automatically. Go next. Then on top of that, you also have flexibility you can extend to your individual team members. So within every team's location of where they work in ClickUp, they have the flexibility to view the work they're working on the way they need to. There's multiple different views inside of ClickUp that allows you to be able to look at work in different ways. On top of that, each team member can also turn on a me mode, which allows them to be hyper-focused on just the work that's assigned to them, allowing them to be able to get rid of the noise. So this flexibility at the team level and also the individual level really helps ClickUp be one of the most powerful tools for project management. Let's talk out further around automations. Next on automations, ClickUp allows you to be able to take consistent processes that you really don't need to be manually supported and make them happen automatically. You can easily set up an automation to be able to trigger off of a common trigger that your team uses, and then have it filter based off maybe there's a specific rule you want to follow. And then you can take a multiple set of actions so that maybe you want to assign any request that comes in with a specific project type to a specific team or user. Or maybe you want to apply a standard team company like project template. You can do that all with automations. This helps you take some of those repeatable processes that are the same every time and make them reliable and consistent. Going next, let's talk about ClickUp AI. ClickUp Brain is ClickUp's AI offering. And what makes it so unique and powerful is that it seamlessly pairs AI with your work, where you work, and helps you be able to leverage your work data more effectively. There are three very key functions with ClickUp AI. First is Knowledge Manager. Knowledge Manager allows you to be able to ask questions and get answers from your own data, helping you be able to find the data you need when you need it. AI Project Manager helps you to be able to manage and automate work like status updates or project planning. And then last but not least, we have AI Writer for Work, which allows you to be able to create writing content. All these things are really, really powerful because it's tied back to your work data so that when you go and interact with it, you don't have to go pull your data out, manually enter it into an AI tool. It is all there, and all these things are seamlessly integrated into ClickUp. So let's dive into a few of these AI features. First, let's jump into AI Knowledge Manager. Well, this is one of the things that I actually use every single day inside of ClickUp. Having AI search or AI facilitated search helps you be able to take a question and be able to find that content that you need. It also gives you detailed responses to your questions and then links out to the source information. Maybe you just want to find the details of a specific project or search for something in your standard operating procedures. And gone are the days where you can't find those things because you either don't know where they are or you even just don't know what question to ask. You can ask those questions of ClickUp AI, and ClickUp AI will search your entire workspace based on the access that user has and return the results that are most relevant to that question. Having a powerful search engine that's powered by AI and that's based on your own content ultimately helps you and your team members find what they really need. And you can also easily take any one of your company docs throughout ClickUp, and you can actually indicate it as a verified company wiki, which will make it a primary search result so that those things are elevated in the search results, helping readers or searchers be able to find the things or finalized documents that are things you want to promote in those results. Going further, let's talk about AI Project Manager. AI Project Manager allows you to be able to take any of your projects and be able to summarize them and create project status updates very, very quickly. You can then model and adapt based off of your own nuance that you need to add. You also can come in and say, for example, maybe you want to have an update from a specific team member. You can quickly do an AI stand-up. What have they worked on for the past day or for the past week? Helping be able to get a quick summary of what you or they are doing. You can also do this at like a team level and pull multiple users in the same time. Really helps you get a clear bird's eye view of the progress or the work that's being done by your project team members. And then also too, like when you're going through and looking at a project, you can stay on the previous one, sorry. Maybe when you're going through and looking at a project, you don't want to have to read a long discussion thread of all the updates that are inside of the project. You can use AI Summary to actually go through and it will summarize a long discussion thread for you, give you the salient points, and then you can even have it suggest to you a reply that you can go and model and adjust based on what you know and understand the AI is not able to provide for you. And this helps you be able to get up to speed quickly, stay informed, and be able to respond with relevance. Next slide. Let's talk about how AI Project Manager can also help you turn your planning directly into actions. So if you have a project and you've written out the project description, you can just click a button very quickly and actually have it generate a set of actionable tasks based off of what you've written. This allows you to be able to quickly turn your project ideas and documentation directly into action. And then let's move on to AI Writer for Work. This is one of the tools I also love using just because sometimes you need to write something and you just have that writer's block. This allows you to be able to get started with your projects, which is typically one of the hardest places, just knowing where to start. AI Writer provides you a library of prompts based on the work type you're actually doing. There's over 80 plus use case specific prompts that you can actually add your own input into, and they'll be able to give you a response based on that specific use case. And this really helps you get past that writer's block and helps you get moving on that project that you need to plan. Just in wrapping up, ultimately ClickUp Brain is one of the most powerful AI tools in the market, not just because of the features that I walked you through, and I was only able to cover a few of them, but it's very powerful because it's tied directly to your data. This seamless AI approach helps you and your teams be more effective at managing all of their projects. And then being able to tie this together with ClickUp's flexible project management structure that can be adapted to your different teams and have it be boosted by AI really will help you leapfrog the competition that you have. And that's it from me, and I'll pass it over to Tom Solid to go through his content.
Well, thanks, Devin. Welcome. Tom here, one of the founders, Paco Cantero, co-founder, as you see on the picture from the Paperless Movement, is also in the chat. So I'm very thankful to be here on this webinar talking about this. And what we will focus on today is connecting the pieces together, MeetGeek and ClickUp. So we've been using ClickUp since 2.0, since the beginning. And the reason why we moved to ClickUp very early on was the flexibility. And when we go to the next slide, then I want to quickly talk about what we actually do at the Paperless Movement. Paco and I, we developed methodology called ICOR, which stands for Input, Control, Output, Refine. And we help busy professionals to set up their productivity system end-to-end using ICOR. And ICOR is a tool-agnostic methodology. So you can apply this to any tool stacks that you have. And we go through different parts inside the membership with something called the ICOR journey. So we cover the digital note-taking, PKM area, the personal knowledge management, task management, project management, and then automation. And today we want to focus on the project management area, as this is the part, obviously, with ClickUp and MeetGeek, and that is covered here. So if you go to the next slide, you will see here the ICOR framework. So that's part of the ICOR methodology. That's what our members use in order to lay out their tool stack on a map to easily identify redundancies of tools, gaps that they have on the tools. I won't go into too much detail on this map today. It's actually much easier to understand than you might think at first glance. The important part to understand here is that we differentiate between personal work life and business work life, and knowledge management and project management. And on the red and yellow areas that you see on this map is the business part. The red one is the project management, and the yellow one is the business knowledge management. And I hope this is possible to see there, but we placed ClickUp in the intersection of these two areas. So for us, ClickUp we use for project management, for the action world, and we also use it for knowledge management, the information world. And therefore, we store information also in ClickUp, and this is great because there is the place where the action happens, and we immediately have the information necessary in order to move forward as quickly as possible. You also see there MeetGeek in BKM, the business knowledge management area. That's also a core application, and as we call the tools that are laid out in inside the ICOR framework. Core applications are tools that cannot be easily ripped out of your productivity system without actually hurting the running business. So if we take away ClickUp, for example, we have to migrate to a different tool. This will stop business continuity and so on. If we take away MeetGeek, we would lose a chunk of our knowledge management that we have here. So what does this mean? All our meetings are recorded using MeetGeek, and inside MeetGeek, we have an easy way to search for all these meetings. Just based on keywords, we will find information. We get insights thanks to the summaries that we get in there. It's easy to share meeting notes this way. So these are all the advantages of MeetGeek. And this is where we always have a place where we can go back to if we need anything that we forgot, or we say, man, what did we say in this last meeting? That's the place to go to. However, that's really usually the case when we have something that is not part of the summary. Because if we move on, you will see now how we connect ClickUp and MeetGeek together. Just very quickly, talking about the project management part, the output stage inside ICOR. Here is a magic slide that shows the different parts of our project management concepts and workflows. And as I already mentioned, ICOR is tool agnostic. So in our courses, we always have 3 layers, which are split into concepts, workflows, which are both tool agnostic. And the third layer is the implementation layer, where we give examples how to apply our concepts and workflows into our own tools to better describe how they look in action. So as you can see here in the concepts, we talk about project management system, the output elements, PR. These are all things I won't go into much detail. What I just want to mention is that we have a ClickUp like a Pro course, which is essentially the implementation layer for this ICOR, and we applied ICOR to our ClickUp setup. And therefore, we also have a ClickUp template available for our members, and that you can also download by the link that will be shared inside the webinar later on. If you want to apply ICOR inside ClickUp, and that's just what I wanted to mention here. The key is really that we move on now to the next slide. where we see now iCore in action. If you, oh, sorry, I looked at the wrong screen. Yeah, so on this slide here, you see a GIF animation, and there you see how the integration works in action. So SSOT stands for single source of truth, and that's where we define where we find information. So each type of information has a specific place. We will never have any duplicated information in a sense that we don't know where to find it. So here we have the single source of truth for meeting notes, MeetGeek, where you have the basic version of the meeting notes, so all the transcription and the video and all these. And with the great integration between MeetGeek and ClickUp, we get the summaries inside ClickUp. And that's what you see here in GIF in our workspace, that we have in the team area a meeting summaries section where all the MeetGeek meetings are sent to. And therefore, we have instantly all the summaries available. The great thing is here that there's also a link added automatically inside the summary here that links back to the actual meeting inside MeetGeek. So whenever we need more context, we click on this link and we will open up MeetGeek and see actually the meeting. And this is really amazing, because if we go to the next slide, then you see here no, you've been too fast. Then you go, here we see the workflow that is behind that. And you see already coming up here, ClickUp Brain. This is where everything comes together. So very quickly, we are using Zoom for most of the meetings. MeetGeek also integrates with Google Meet. And when we have external meetings, it will be there as well. And then MeetGeek passes on the summary, as you just have seen, to ClickUp. And then we start leveraging ClickUp Brain in order to ask questions about the meeting summaries that we have in here. And here on the GIF animation, you see actually an example where I ask ClickUp Brain to tell me more about the meeting that I had with Alan Chen. It's the founder of Heptabase, and it immediately gives me a summary of the summary. And the amazing thing is that something that Devin pointed out in his slides is that it also gives me the source. And this is the great thing, because with one click, I'm directly at the place where I am. And now it makes sense to collect all these summaries in one place, because that's really the issue with automatic meeting notes usually, that you collect all this information, but you will never look it up again unless you're searching for something. Then you need to know what you're searching for. But leveraging ClickUp Brain in this context, you can have synonyms that you're asking for, and you will still find the information that you're looking for. And that's the great thing about this. That was the integration how we use MeetGeek and ClickUp. I just want to quickly mention before I hand back to Daria that if you go to the next slide, that we also have for our members, thanks to our work here together, we are able to offer 30% discounts for both tools, for MeetGeek and for ClickUp. So we have our own tool discount section in here where we usually have nowhere else on the web discounts. So whenever you decide to join us, this is also a link in the description then, or in the chat here, then you will get these discounts. Thank you very much, and I hand back to Daria.
Thank you, Dan. I want to remind everyone who listens to us to use the chat and more importantly, question tab to submit your questions to our speakers. We will be back to them after the Dan's part. Dan, I pass the floor to you.
Hi there. Great topics covered by Tom and Devin. So for a person that is passionate about productivity like I am, it's exciting to see what it can be achieved nowadays as compared to 1-2 years back. So going forward today, I want to talk about one of my favorite topics, one that we care much about at MeetGeek. It's about the impact of silos and misalignments within a company. So maybe it doesn't look so doesn't look like a nice topic, but I'm sure that it will be nice because we'll be sharing several strategies to reduce misalignment and break down silos using technology, with examples from MeetGeek. So to begin with, silos are costly. So even with the current technological landscape, and regardless of size, organizational knowledge is fragmented across departments. So if you have more than a few members in your company, you'll start to notice the costs of silos. And numerous studies have shown the impact, such as even losing revenue or losing profitability. You can go to the next slide. So silos causes misalignment. And the problem with misalignment is that if it's gradually spreading, it ultimately can lead to a large gap between the demands of a competitive environment and the strategy and the competencies of the company. And if this gap becomes larger, then you can it can become a big failure for the company. So if we go to the next slide, we have two famous examples of this situation. I'm sure most of you know or have heard about Kodak, once a giant in the photography industry. They failed to adapt to the digital revolution despite having invented the core technology used in digital cameras. And their failure is often attributed to the internal silos and the lack of alignment among its divisions. Another famous example is Nokia. They failed to adapt to the smartphone market, and it is publicly known that this was also caused by internal competition inside Nokia and a lack of coherent strategy across their departments. Different business units competing for resources rather than working together to innovate and respond to the market changes. So, although we are a company in the meeting productivity space, we don't believe that more meetings equals better alignment or better team collaboration. So then the question is how to approach misalignment. If we go to the next slide, breaking silos and coming up with solutions to cope with misalignment are central themes for us at MeetGeek, where we help more than 20,000 teams across multiple roles to align on online meetings and conversations. So today I want to share you from our experience the most effective, let's say, 5 ways to solve misalignment and break silos with the help of technology. We have seen this work in many situations, so there is a big chance that they will be useful for you as well. So the first one is a simple yet powerful technique. And there used to be a very small subset of meetings recorded or taken notes for. And this meant that a lot of knowledge was lost and many follow-ups, conversations needed to keep everyone on the same page. So having recordings and summary generated for the majority of meetings in a team means that you are able to have more context and access to more context and less meetings overall. And why is that happening? Because basically it removes the fear of missing out a meeting and triggers a mindset change where people attend only the meetings where they are an active participant. And this is actually the #1 recommendation from meeting experts or any meeting productivity book. Invite only the relevant people. But it was so difficult to achieve this before without the proper technology. And we, as MeetGeek, we have this mindset internally. We use our own product, and we have seen teams save at least 20% of their collective calendar time just by having this mindset and by using the technology. And basically, this means 1 day per week per person. The second way of handling misalignment is by having the majority of meetings documented, tagged, and made available to others. For instance, with MeetGeek, you can share meetings automatically with individuals or within teams in a unified repository of knowledge. Essentially, it's democratized knowledge, and nothing is basically lost. Teams can access clear requirements. They can access customer feedback as it was delivered. New hires can use recordings for onboardings or to check team culture from previous team meetings. we had many customers solve disputes on what was previously agreed because they could go back, search, and access the recordings. So you can achieve a lot of transparency, and depending on the organization, organization culture, you can go very far away by sharing more or less meetings within teams or even publicly. At MeetGeek, 90% of our meetings are shared, and also like 90% of our Slack channels are public. Going to number 3, it's important to deliver the right information in the right place. And for example, with MeetGeek, but maybe not only, but with MeetGeek specifically, you can have workflows that send meeting content and highlights to tools or as notifications to other people. So we have a lot of workflows in the platform, and there are a lot of use cases, but there are 3, I would share just 3 popular examples. So one of the example is logging meeting notes and customer requirements in your CRM. So having centralized and detailed notes in the CRM improves follow-ups and collaboration between salespeople or collaboration with other teams such as customer success. Second example is about real-time sharing of user insights or customer insights with product teams to accelerate design iteration and product features improvements. So in this example, you can see a Slack message which contains a highlight from a call with a user, and it's basically a feature request that is delivered directly to the product roadmap channel where the engineering team has access to that specific feature. So there's no other person involved. You can see the reality of what the users are saying. A third example is sharing customer feedback or even requirements, but customer feedback for marketing. And this can be used to make marketing campaigns more resonant with target audiences and improve conversion rates and ultimately boosting revenue, because you can reuse the same language and can really understand how to communicate with the customers. Number 4, and I guess Tom partially touched upon this use case, but as we know, almost every meeting should have next steps outlined. There are exceptions, but almost every meeting should have next steps outlined so that there is some kind of progress made until the next meeting. So if you are tracking tasks in a project management tool or task management tool, it is quite useful to automate the assignment of tasks to make sure that the team is on the same page and that nothing is missed or misunderstood or tasks lost along the way. So in this example, using MeetGeek, ClickUp tasks are automatically created and assigned from the meeting so that the teams can continue to work without breaking the flow. And yeah, it also saves time because you don't need to do them to create them manually anymore. The last, I would say the last example, it's actually a new feature that we have recently released, and it's called the MeetGeek Chat Assistant for Slack. And the vision was not only to enable users to chat with their meeting history and ask questions or look for information, but also to be able to make that meeting knowledge available to others in the form of Slack group conversations. So essentially, what you can do, you can basically mention the chat assistant in conversations to ask different questions about meetings or use the responses as triggers to collaborate with teammates. So in this example, I'm just asking about the main customer pain points outlined in my meeting, so we can have a discussion around that on the channel. And there are many other useful ways to use the Slack assistant, such as translating meeting content from other languages to make it available for people that don't speak the language that was spoken in the meeting, or even writing follow-ups. So if you are a MeetGeek user or you want to become one, I encourage you to try it and let us know your feedback. So just to wrap up, we should not take silos and misalignment lightly. I consider them a silent threat. to any team or company. The good news is that technology can really help achieve more with less effort and tackle misalignment. So at MeetGeek, we are working with many companies on identifying misalignments and coming up with effective solutions to accelerate their productivity while breaking down silos. So we are leveraging 100 plus use cases in our library, and we are more than happy to deep dive into the specifics of your team as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, Devin, Tom. We are now reached the Q&A session, and I want to prompt everyone not to be shy and humble. And remember, there are no silly questions or unnecessary questions, so please type them in the question tab, and we will answer them live. I will stop sharing the screen. And hello. Okay, then let's see what we have in the chat or in the Q&A session. Mariana, could you please let us know if there are some questions that we do not see? Okay, I see typing.
I think
so far, by the way,
very good job at explaining things.
Yeah, looks like. Devin, and do you work at ClickUp all remotely, or you prefer some office collaboration?
So we're fully remote. We do have an office in San Diego where a lot of people go in 1 day a week, but most of the company is actually outside of San Diego. So we're fully remote. I will tell you though, if I had a preference, I would at least have 1 day a week working with my colleagues in the office.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, we have our first question in the chat section, but can I please ask you to move it to the questions tab so we can put it live on the screen and decide who of our speakers will take it. Oh, Mariana, could you please make it? Okay, we do have the question. Let me know who wants to address that.
Is this question about like ClickUp security or like integration security? I guess it depends on specifically. Are you asking about like ClickUp security with your data?
Could you please specify? Okay.
Assuming just for a second, like it is about ClickUp security, a few things I would just call out here is that we're used by government institutions across the globe. There's a lot of different things that we have in place here. So we're ISO 27001 certified, we're HIPAA certified, and we also have our data hosted regionally. So you can have your data hosted. So for example, if you wanted to be hosted in your specific region, we have a lot of regions available throughout the entire globe. Depends on the country. If there's a country specific region for you, for example, there is like European specific hosting, there is US specific hosting, and then we also have data centers throughout the entire world. Our data is encrypted in transit and encrypted at rest. But if you have any like specific data security questions, happy to answer any of them. And we also have a webpage I'll grab and I'll share it in the chat covering all of our security.
Yeah, I think just to complement on that, we have a similar security setup. I can also share the security portal afterwards. And yeah, we are also certified SOC 2, HIPAA, and GDPR as well.
Same here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the links. So I saw that there were some questions typing, but they did not transform into the question. So again, please don't be shy. I will remove this question so far. Seems like we answered from both ends. I see people still here, and please be active. Unless, if you think that all the questions are answered, let us know in the chat as well. Sometimes that happens. Okay, we have the question. Let me put it live. I think it goes to you, Dan.
So what meeting template can really go granular to capture all points and not just the high-level point on the MeetGeek app? This is a very good one. Well, I mean, I don't think I can give a generic answer unless we know what kind of what we define as all points. And it's really up to how the template is actually defined. Any template can be edited, or you can make the highlights, let's say, more broad as to capture all important points. So it can even be made, you can even create a highlight that which is called important, and basically allow the engine to identify what is important. So you can really customize the highlights so it captures more points than just a few of them. But if you go with the defaults, it will just take that, like the action items, the facts, the concerns, and so on. So maybe I don't know if we can share the contacts, or Daria, I don't know if people have access to our contacts. But we can sure take this discussion offline and have a more concrete example of what you want to achieve, and we'll be happy to help.
Sure, we will
maybe
follow up.
Maybe I can share my email or something, and we can follow up the conversation.
It seems like we have a bit of clarification on the first question, and probably it's about people a bit shy, of using note takers during the meetings. We do often receive those questions. I don't know, Dan, if you can add something more to this. I think it is covered, but probably you can share some use cases.
So, I mean, we like Devin said, we also work with other state agencies or state companies, not just in the US, but all over the world. So, I mean, technically, we are compliant with many situations, but of course, like we could just as well, like if we have a follow-up conversation, I would be interested to understand like what would be the let's say if there are any specific requirements or the specific concerns that we can address.
Okay, so seems like all questions were for Dan so far. Probably since we had some questions before the webinar about the ClickUp, let us know if users who ask those questions are here.
I see another question, sorry, some from Kapil. Some clients or prospects are not comfortable having an, is this one? Okay. So usually it starts with explaining the benefits of having an additional chatbot in the call, and explaining that it's entirely up to them to accept or not the benefits. You can always stop the chatbot or kick it out. And sometimes it is useful to, if they are more reluctant, it is useful to share, for example, the summary or the notes after the call, even sometimes the recording if you wish. So many times we have seen this with customers when they do that. When they do this with their customers, their end customers actually appreciate getting this kind of output, and it helps them to establish a better relationship and establish a better relationship with the customer. We have seen many companies using this way of communicating.
Okay, thank you, Dan, for answering that. Okay, so please let us know if you have any other questions, because we see that the presentations were so filled with information that no questions left. So let's probably wait a couple of minutes for the questions, and if there are no, we will wrap up. Just the reminder that probably Mariana can share now in the chat section that members of Paperless Movement community get access to discounts on both platforms, MeetGeek and ClickUp. So leverage this opportunity. Yes, we have the recording and it will be shared, so no worries. Let's see. So we start the countdown. If we do not have any questions, we will probably wrap up.
We are always available for questions, even after the webinars.
For sure. We will follow up with the recording, the slides, and all the links that Devin, Tom, and Dan shared. So no worries if you've missed something. For sure, my preferred part is the Q&A, since you can ask the questions live. But it's for those who are not shy. Don't use the ClickUp now, but I know it's one of the best in the industry. Nice. That's for sure. Thank you all. Thank you, Deborah. Okay, thank you. So guys, let me know, should we wrap up? And if we receive any questions after the webinar, we will just follow up with the email. What do you think? Sounds good. Okay. Thumbs ups. Oh, and we have answers in chat that, so probably that's a fit for most of those who are still with us. Sure, thank you. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us. We will send the recording and the slides after this session. Devin, Tom, Dan, thank you for your insights, and see you later.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you.